It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Tetzaveh, making a splash. Look in the Parsha, it speaks about the Shmonat HaBegadim, the 8 garments that the Kohen Gadol would wear, that the high priest would wear, as well as the 4 garments that a regular Kohen Idiot would wear, a regular Kohen. One of the garments is a me'il. Me'il was sort of like modern day tzitzis. It was in front and in the back, and around the sides, around the bottom, there was pamon vrimon, al shulei me'il saviv. All around, it had a pamon. Pamon is clearly a bell, and the bell was sounded. And the rimon could be something that looked like a pomegranate, could be something woven that looks like a pomegranate, decorative, like a tzitzis type of thing. Or it could be that the pamon, the rimon, is the little metal object inside the bell, inside the pamon, that makes the bell go. I forget what they call that little piece inside the bell. So Ibn Ezra says that the rimon is inside the pamon, that the pomegranate-shaped thing is inside the bell, and the Rashi and the Gemara and the Ramban, they all say that, no, there are 72 pomegranates, 72 bells, one is in between the other. There's an interesting question. Is it, if it's equal number of things, then how do we know that the rimon surrounds the pamon? Maybe the pamon surrounds the rimon. So the Brisker Rav says that one has to, you make it in such a way where as you make it, you put the pamon in between the rimon, but actually it could be done. In the end, there's an equal number of pamonim and rimonim. Good. Why? Why pamon rimon? So it says nishma kolo, the voice should be heard. But why should the voice be heard? When, as the Kohen comes in, his voice should be heard. So you have the Ibn Ezra says that it's a symbol that just as you can hear the sound of the Kohen coming in, so too you should be able to hear, God should hear the voice of the prayers of Israel. After all, what is Kohen Gadol? If not carrying the prayers and sacrifices and all the kavanot, all the intents of the Jewish people. So too, when those sounds make sounds, it's an allusion to the prayers of Israel that God should hear our prayers. Beautiful. The Chizkuni says, no, it's something to sort of make a splash. The Kohen Gadol is walking around, the high priest, you should know, this is the Kohen Gadol. How do we know? You can hear him coming a mile away. He's clinking along with all his bells. He also says that there may be a more practical element. If he is walking around, then maybe it's time for the service. It's time for davening, and everyone has to get their mind in the right setting. It's time for Shacharis, Mincha, Mariv. We have to start praying in addition to bringing the various offerings. The Rashbam says that there's a rule that no one else should be in the holy section when he comes to do the service on Yom Kippur. Perhaps when he comes on a regular day to do the service in the outer sanctuary, in the Heichal. The Hamek Dover and the Tziv points out that on Yom Kippur there's no one else there, so of course he's there. But the Chizkuni says we don't want anyone else there because no one else is allowed to be there on Yom Kippur. Therefore, we don't want anyone else there. But of course, on Yom Kippur he's not wearing this garment. But in any event, maybe whenever he's there, we should know this is a service for the Kohen Gadol, not for anyone else. There is a notion that the Kohen Gadol can do whatever he wants any day, even though there's a rotation of who gets to do which sacrifice. Kohen Gadol says, no, today I want to bring this piece of meat. I'm going to do this slaughtering. I want to do whatever sacrifice he wants to do. He gets to do it. That's his prerogative. So if he's wearing those bells, we know who he is. The Torah says, why 72 bells, 72 pomegranates? Because there are 72 forms of leprosy that marot negaim, different looks of leprosy, And the me'il is mechaper lashon hara. This garment, this tunic, it atones for sins of lashon hara, of slander and gossip. Why does this? So the voice that's heard from this garment is to atone for people who have frivolous voices, voices of gossip, of lashon hara, of sin, and this atones for that. Why is the Kohen Gadol such a person? I heard someone say that the Kohen Gadol, after all, he represents the unity of the Jewish people. Gossip represents the divisiveness within the Jewish people. So he represents the unity of the Jewish people. He's the representative of all the Jewish people. Therefore, he has to love all the Jewish people so he can do the service on behalf of all the Jewish people. So therefore, he is the one who's exemplar of the anti-Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara is divisive. He wears the Pa'amon Rimon, which brings a voice, a unified voice of the Jewish people. The Yosef B'chor Shor says it's just derech eretz. When you come in to see, he's going to go very close. He's going to go to bring the menorah very close to the ark. He's going to go on Yom Kippur into the ark. So if he gets that close, he has to announce his coming. There's a derech eretz. There's a matter of decency when dealing with any person. Forget God. When dealing with anyone, you knock before you come in. You say, "Excuse me, may I come in?" So by sounding his voice, he doesn't suddenly appear and barge in to the Holy of Holies. Comes with the sound. Again, the question is, does he wear this on Yom Kippur? I thought he's just wearing a plain tunic on Yom Kippur, but maybe when he does some of the other services, his wearing this garment, his voice would be heard. Now, some want to suggest that there's this problem that is the Kohen Gadol. Is he alive? He's stuck in the Holy of Holies. That's why when I hear his voice, but again, is he wearing bells on such a garment? I don't think so. Finally, I saw a suggestion that it's like tzitzis, which reminded me that the Pa'amon is what? Pa'amonim, the Rimon. Rimon is a pomegranate. How many seeds in the pomegranate? Well, you can count them, and it may vary, but ideally, there's 613 seeds in a pomegranate. And that's why we eat it as a symbol of good deeds on Rosh Hashanah. We say that we should have more merit and we should be able to fulfill the 613 commandments. So maybe he's wearing these pamunim, just like you wear tzitzis to remember kol mitzvos Hashem, to remember all the mitzvos of God. So do you wear the pomegranates, which also remind you of the 613 seeds, which reminds us of the 613 mitzvos, which are found within. Now, it's true that the Kohen, in this sense, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, makes kind of a splash, right? When he comes into the Beis HaMikdash, he kind of makes a splash. But the Pa'amon, but the Rimon, assuming that it was either woven or that it's not the knocker inside the bell, then there is both a splash and not a splash. What do I mean? The Pa'amon represents the idea that when a Jew prays, you should pray out loud. You should sing it out. Some interpret that's why we said Na'aseh v'nishma. There are other things that Nishma Pikam HaMelech. There are the Torah points out that there are various times when things were heard in the Megillah of Purim at Mount Sinai. Our voice was heard, and certainly when you daven, it'd be nice to hear some of your voices. To hear the davening, it's a beautiful sound. The sound of the children davening. It's what defeated Haman. Hopefully, defeat our enemies today. But so it's nice to have a sound. But on the other hand, there has to be humility. And the Pa'amon says, look, on the one hand, I'm making a big splash as a religious person. Look, with me, I'm davening. Ashrei Yoshvei Yisecha, Yulu Chasela, and you daven out loud. But on the other hand, nobody hears. It's the Shtil Shmon Esrei. It's the quiet Shmon Esrei. It's the Hatznei Aleches. It's the modest, humble Jew who walks humbly with God. And that's the Pa'amon, assuming the Rimon is woven, or that it's not part of the bell structure. What does that mean? That at the same time that he makes a splash, he also walks humbly with God. He also does not show off. He just got those 613 commandments and he walks with them. He walks, he does the mitzvot, he does great stuff. But at the same time, there's a modesty to it. So, are we supposed to make a big splash when you come in the room? When, as a Jew, are we supposed to make a big splash? On the one hand, yes. We want to let everybody know we're worshiping God, we're coming, we're doing, we're going, and we're excited about it. On the other hand, we have to have a certain humility, pamon, rimon, both the silent rimonim and also the loud pamonim. This is the balance, the yin and the yang of the Jewish life. You have to both be modest about it, but also to be very proud of our Judaism and to wear it on our sleeves and let everybody know that we are proud and excited about God, Torah, and mitzvos. You have this combination, both pride, joy, not afraid to shout it out. At the same time, humility. God willing, we will indeed merit all the good things that the Kohen Gadol used to bring to the Jewish people. Thank you for joining us here at the Baron Hirsch Congregation for our discussion of the Parsha. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.